Hey, what is up, everyone? Chris of the Thrift Shop Hustler here. Today we are going to do a quick tutorial on how to create a Merch by Amazon template for designing shirts and uploading them onto Amazon. Amazon does provide a link for a template for Photoshop, and I'll leave a link below in the description for that. But I had a friend, Rad Seller, on YouTube, which I will leave her link below, was asking, she was curious about templates and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be easier for me to make a tutorial. So this one's going, especially shout out to her. And this will help a lot of you guys out with setting up your own templates in Photoshop and showing you basically how you need to do this. So right here I have this first template, and this is the one that I pretty much use, and we're going to basically recreate this from scratch. So what you're going to go up into is here, File. You're going to go New. This is Windows going to pop up right here. So the parameters you want to do is, so custom is fine. If you want to switch this to inches, it's a lot simpler, easier to do in the brain. You could do pixels, but we're going to do inches for the sake of argument. 15 inches is going to be the width. 18 inches is going to be the height. Resolution is going to be 300, which is your standard printing DPI. When you hear the word DPI, it's going to mean dots per inch, so you want it at 300. For if you're doing any printing project other than Merch by Amazon or anything, 300 DPI is literally like the lowest DPI with the highest quality as far as in the print business. So as long as your resolution is at least 300, you'll be accepted for like tons of other professional print jobs. Color mode, we're just going to leave it RGB, 8-bit. I don't want to get into that. There's a lot of technical crap with that. Background is white because we're going to change that in a second. So that's pretty much your color profile is going to be like this. If your information doesn't show up in here, the most important thing you want is 15 by 18 with 300 DPI. You can even do CYMK color, which is fine too, but you need it to have color. This is probably the lowest color sampling right here. So we'll leave that alone, but those are the three basic things you need. You click OK, it's going to open up a new window. It's going to be a white background. As you can see over here in your, I guess I don't know what this is called. I think it's called your bin or your toolbox. I consider it like a toolbox because it shows you all your different layers and stuff like that. First thing right off the bat, what I like to do is I like to have a black background. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to this little swapper tool. You see how it swaps it back and forth? You can swap it back and forth to black. Click your bucket tool and drop that black right in there. So what you're going to do is now you have one whole layer. So we're going to actually act like a cake here because we want to put our fonts on the different layers so that we can modify them and they can be see-through as far as transparency when we save out the PNG. So we're going to go over to here to your toolbox or your bin. You're going to go down to here to this little sticky note thing. It looks like a sticky note, and it's basically a create new layer. You create a new layer and make sure it's on the top. This is what we're going to be using to make our fonts or our images and stuff like that. So basically you can also, these little eyeballs right here, those are for turning off and on the layers. As you can see, we have a transparent layer on top and a solid black layer on bottom. We're going to use this as a reference so that we could see what our shirt's going to be made. So we're going to flip back over to white. We're going to click our text type tool, horizontal type tool. Click that. We're going to look at our fonts. We're going to do Arial since there's no copyright issues with that to my knowledge. We're going to go into here, and as you can see, it's a little small, so we're going to up it. Let's just do 300 as the point size, and we'll go rad. All right, we'll do rad. And so our second layer, as you can see over here on the right, says rad, and the T means it's a text layer. And we're going to create it'll automatically create another layer, as you can see over here when we start a new font. So we'll go seller. Right now, as you can see, the space is too long. Now there's a few ways we can do it. We can go over here to the character squeezer, or I like to call it, where you can shrink, stretch. It's at 100% width. You can actually go over there and modify that. See? Actually, I'm sorry. You have to go in here and select all. And you can go up to here to modify, and you can see you can put any value you want. 454, 96. That's 596. That's too crazy. That's another way that you could manipulate the things. But I'm going to show you guys another little side or little trick that I do. We'll put it back at 100. And we'll click the check mark. So what you can do is, if you have it highlighted over here, you can have these different things highlighted. That's how you can edit them. If you go Control T, you can actually move this around, make it as crazy as you want. You can do this, all this crap. But we're going to Control Z that to back. If you hold Shift and you move this thing, it'll hold the properties together, and then you can just move it. Hold Shift, drag. Because if you don't hold Shift and you click one of these, see how what it does? It doesn't constrain the properties. But if I hold Shift and go down, that's not a good example. If you go Shift and sideways, it'll constrain the properties, so it'll be all the same size. You know what I'm saying? If you don't hold Shift, this is what happens. It does this crazy. You can be able to do this, and by holding Shift and doing that, it won't allow you to go crazy, so you can constrain the size. So we're going to go Rad Seller. We're going to click OK. Like, let's pretend this is our shirt, right? And so you could see what it's going to look like on a black background. If you want to change the color, you can go to the background. You click it over here on the right. You take your bucket tool, you click over here on the color, this white box, and you can actually go and do different colors. So if you wanted to see what pink looks like, you know, you go over here to pink, you click OK, you take your bucket tool, drop it in there, and see how that works. We're going to Control Z that. But anyways, that's for example. To switch it back over to the base, you click this little thing. There you go. So we use this as basically a template. You can turn off and on the views. See how over here the little eyeballs? So you can turn things off and on. I definitely highly suggest making a layer over here on the right for each thing that you put in here, because it's a lot easier to edit and manipulate. So let's say this is our finished shirt, right? This is our finished product. What you're going to want to do is you want to turn off the black background over here by clicking the eyeball. And we'll go up to File, Save As. And you're going to save it as a PNG. Usually Photoshop defaults to saving things as a Photoshop file. So we're going to go down here to PNG, .png, and you can name it anything you want. We're going to just put rad. Save it. And so we're gonna do this non-interlacing. Okay, so we just pretty much made a basic shirt using a template. If you want, you can get rid of these fonts and then just save this as a Photoshop file, a PSD, and then go back to it later. That's what I suggest do, is saving out your template, so you can go back and you can actually save this template. You know, like I said, change the different colors. And you can actually, you know, save one as a red one, a pink one for your different shirts, so you can at least see, you know, what the fonts look like on each one. So we're going to go to merch. And I'm going to log in here real quick. And so basically what's going to happen here is we're going to go to upload finished artwork. Hopefully this defaults right to that YouTube one. Pictures, YouTube merch, rad seller. As you can see, it's blank because we blanked out the background. It's not black. Click on rad, open up the file. It's going to open it up. This should take a little longer to do for most computers because the files are so huge. Because you're saving like a 15 by 18 at 300 dpi. So we see this, we're going to say save selection and continue. And now we can pick our different shirts. I just like black. We're going to click a youth one. I'm going to do $15.99. You know, we like it. It looks like. If you want to have a back logo, we can do that. We're going to save the selection. For our brand name, we can just go rad seller. Title of the product, rad seller awesome shirt. Save as selected. And here's where we could pretty much see we have a royalty. This is our basic info. We can save it as a draft, which we might do. You can save it as a sample for a direct link only, so you don't have to worry about Amazon approving it. I think I haven't did a sample, so I don't know exactly if Amazon still approves that, but it's a good way to do if you're doing like company shirts and you don't want anyone else to buy them. Direct link is good, but if you want to sell to the public, which I suggest people do, you do that, you submit product, and you go through the process like that. So that is that. So I want to thank you guys for watching this tutorial. If it helped you out, please click the like button below. If you have any comments, leave a comment below. And like I said, I'll leave some important links below on the Amazon Direct template and Red Seller's account on YouTube. You should go follow her. Also, I'll put down Margaret's channel, Texas Gal Treasures. She does amazing videos on merch. I definitely suggest anyone who hasn't heard of her to subscribe to her also. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
What you know about rocking the wolf on your noggin? What you knowin' about wearing a bird box skin? I'm digging, I'm searching right through that luggage. One man's trash, that's another man's. Fuck your granddad, we're donating that rap. It up, shirt, 'cause now I'm up in her. I'm in the world, you can find me in the